into the trailer, goes to Wheelerburger. Like towns, like Hillsborough, in my kicking around, has, with Windsor and Deering, has about the same population, 9,000, a little bit more. We're just a slight more. They got 200,000 tons. We generate, half again as much. I mean, so those metrics bring into question, what are we doing as far as going through the trash? Now, there's a couple possibilities, and by the way, I'm not casting aspersions on Benji or his team, the people or whatever. It's just an observation, getting the background information. Could be that we're not recycling a percentage. Now, we are recycling cans, paper, mixed fiber, cardboard, steel, and whatever. We just about, we just about generate around $90,000 a year. So the question is, taking some recyclables out would drop that cost, which is a cost to us for trucking all that and paying the tipping fee over at Wheelerburger. The next question is there demolition going into the trash that otherwise should be put into the demolition pile? So the next question is it really just our trash? And we have no way of knowing. So I guess the question is, if we're going to look forwards to considering upgrade of the facility, I was actually on the 1980, I think it was 85, transfer station committee. Really was about, do we recycle 100%, do we single stream, or we don't do it at all? And it was decided, and I think it's a standing policy, that we recycle 100%. But again, I'm not casting any aspersions on anybody. I'm just saying we have a cost to the town, we have a potential revenue that's not being realized. So I just wanted to point out that it would be helpful for us to understand over the coming years what our actual transfer station trash load is, so we can design only for the future, but also in the distant future, hopefully 30 years worth of going up. I mean, the population is going to increase. So I know you guys are considering whether to do some more decisions on the transfer station. I think plastic bags, clear bags, or whatever. So I think there needs to be a behavior change to get results. I'm not suggesting what they are per se. I'll just be honest and upfront. I have somebody pick my trash up. I do use the town for demolition, so.
Okay.
With that, I'd encourage the board to consider that for the long-term benefit of the town of Ware from this expense. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Thanks, Ray.
Good evening. I have similar concerns about the transfer station. I just hope we take it slow. I don't think a selectman should head up any of that. I think it's the responsibility of the Department of Public Works to put people together, put a project together, and then submit it to the board and let the board make decisions. Selectmen driving a project, and it's happened in the past, very rarely, but it's happened, and it goes wrong because there's a built-in prejudice when that person presents that information as a board member. And it's very unlikely that the board is going to go against it. So any of these types of projects, if you have a specific expertise, bring it to the table when it's presented to the board, like Selectman Van does when it comes to communication. As far as I know, he's not heading up the communication project, but he certainly has an expertise in that area, and he can ask specific and pertinent questions. As far as, I've been upset at some of the comments that have been made regarding recycling. and they insinuated that people in the town of Ware aren't recycling. Well, I recycle, and it is a little bit of an effort, break down the boxes, separate things. And when I go to the transfer station on a regular basis, I see most people aren't just dumping their trash and running. They go into the other locations. So I think there needs to be a study done, not just jump into it. Let's put a committee together and let's build a new facility. Let's do it gradually. Let's see what the numbers are, like was presented earlier by the prior person, and look at the data, and then let the data drive the direction that we're headed. And one other thing. The board, I guess the first board, in modern history, has decided that they're not going to meet every other week. They're going to only meet every other week instead of weekly. Every previous board, except with an exception during the summer, July and August, would meet every 2 weeks. But the majority of the time we met was weekly. And if that's the case, and that's a decision that's been made by this board, then I would appreciate a board member making a motion to cut your pay in half. Why should I continue to pay you a salary that was based on hours that you have obviously just decided to cut in half? So why don't you cut your hours? Why don't you cut your pay in half? Thanks.
Frank?
Frank Campana. I'll try to stay within the 3 minutes.
I know, it's, yeah.
That's okay.
I spaced it, and the
Okay.
floor is yours.
So I hope the same applies to everybody who
It
might
does.
go over the
Tonight,
5.
yes.
Oh, only tonight.
I think you have 5, Frank.
Yep,
We changed it to 5.
Right, I know.
But
I
we've
know.
been forgetting it tonight, so.
My comment is on tonight's news, and we all know it was anticipated, thanks to the Public Utilities Commission. Public service, Eversource, 112% increase. Excuse me, I said it before. I'm basically living off a default budget from last year. I have to absorb that increase plus everything else, as everybody, in this town and, probably the state has to do. I have no doubt that the town is, you folks and Beth upstairs and Naomi, that, you're cutting corners, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful, but, trying to economize the best you can to make up for, gasoline, diesel, and what's coming down the road. So my only caution is to you folks, when the time starts coming, don't say approaches, don't, inundate the population with woe is me, we got a default budget. Things didn't get done, because I'm sure that a lot of population, things are not getting done in their homes either. That's it, thanks.
Thanks, Frank.
Thanks, Frank.
Anybody else like to speak? Okay. Move on to, I believe we're tabling the
Well,
park discussion?
there was a request via email to be
Right.
on the board for tonight.
Right, and then there was a request to
That
table.
was 2 different people.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So WAC requested, she couldn't be here, remember? And I don't know why Park and Rec is not here.
Okay.
I mean, the email speaks for itself.
All right, well, I think.
I don't know if you want to talk about that
I think
at
we can
all,
touch
or-
upon it real quick. We did get a couple of emails. This is regarding that concession trail that WAC has down at Inison. We did get a couple of concerned emails about space down at Inison, and the request was from Park to have the trailer moved to Bolton Field. I don't have a problem with that. I think that's fine. I don't think any other board member has a problem with that. If that's the wishes of Park, I believe that should be adhered to.
They got a lot more space down at Park than they do at Inison, or down at Bolton Field, yeah.
Exactly. So I think that's while they're in progress, I'll say, with the, with the trailer, that they can move it down there. It sounds like it's gonna be floating once it's in operation, so, but to actually park it, I think we should probably,
So you asked Laura to draw up a 1-year lease.
Yep.
She said she would draw one up similar to the one we have at the barn.
yep,
In there, I was just waiting to see, I guess primarily, where you're gonna house it, and now I have
Right.
that answer. I also am looking for, the gentleman promised us the
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
registration insurance, I don't have that yet either.
Right, exactly. We don't have
So,
their side either, so.
It makes sense, because if you get 2 teams or 4 teams down at
Right.
Einison, it's not enough parking.
Right,
So
so,
if you would like, I'd pass that on to town council to include the
Yep.
permanent parking would be at Bolton Field.
yep, well, for the 1 year,
Yep.
yep. Okay,
And then Assistant Chief Richards is here.
I see him. He's
Yep.
over there. Howdy.
Interim Chief, sorry, I said
Yes.
Assistant.
As a department head, I
Yes.
assume?
Yes.
Step right up.
Okay, so it's like deja vu all over again. I have the change of the phone going, instead of 911 going to Goffstown, going to Capitol. So that requires 5 signatures from the Board of Selectmen. She sent me an email today from 911 saying, hurry up, we gotta get that in, so that's why I'm here.
When's the transition?
September 21st as of today,
Okay.
so that
That says
was,
27th. That's what the email said, 27th.
End of September.
okay. Well, that was, as of last
Week, it was the
week, it was the
27th.
20,
Because I copied
Keith
her
told me
email
the
and put it on.
21st, but if it's the 27th, that's okay too.
Okay.
Do you remember what the letter to Goffstown said?
I think we said October 1st. I don't.
I think we said,
I didn't
final
think-
termination was October 1st.
I think our
but-
long-term was gonna be, our longest was gonna be October 1st. That's why that fit.
Okay. So either way, this is, there was a reason that October 1st wasn't going to work because it was on a weekend. And their tech,
Right.
IT people don't work
Yeah,
on the
the
weekend.
21st and the 27th are both midweek.
Right.
One's a
So
Wednesday,
that's-
one's a Tuesday.
So Keith told me from Capitol area it was on the 21st, but if it's the 27th,
So be it.
I'll find out first thing in the morning whether that's true or not. So you want this back?
Do you want a signature tonight?
Yeah, because either way we're going to go, so.
Would you guys have a problem if I changed 7 to 1 after you guys sign it?
No. No, I
Vice
think it's
versa?
fine. I think
Well, just-
the intent is there,
Just
so.
let me, he might have found out something and talked to her and she didn't talk to me, or
Okay.
vice versa.
Yeah.
They can still sign it, and
Yeah, we'll
then
still
you
sign
and I
it.
can connect about 21 or 27?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll let you know as fast as I hear in the morning.
Yep. Either way, it's 5 signatures.
Just let us know, obviously.
He will.
I will.
He knows where to find me. Is that all you had, or?
That's all I have unless you want something else.
No, I don't think so.
No, y'all good?
I'm good.
Perfect. All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
On the update,
Yeah, I was gonna say, does Benji wanna be here or no? for that?
Benji's in Montana
Oh, that's a
till
good
the end of
place
the
for it.
month, so.
I don't blame him.
I circulated the handout,
Yep.
just for public information and transparency. I circulated the handout. Everyone appeared to, or I didn't hear from everybody, but everybody, the majority seemed to be, that the location of the new sticker will be installed in the lower passenger side of your windshield. As you all know, we let the chief weigh in, the police chief, and news to me, evidently where you get your oil change sticker and put it up there, it's not allowed. That's why we decided on the bottom transfer station corner, which we made that change. Location, I did add the website. I think I added the phone number as well, because all we had was location. So there's a lot of people that would go to the website, go to the phone, and then everything else is what you saw, and then I added to the bottom corner, like I said I was going to, as a thank you.
Okay.
I did print 100 of them today. And there's 10,000 stickers here, so I think
We should be good.
we should be good to go.
Okay.
Okay. And I guess that's all I'm gonna say for the update. I know, I'll just leave it alone.
Yeah, we have a, obviously, the sticker program with the new location, confirmed location through the chief is ready to go. There is a bit of a logistical problem in the town clerk's office. Just some clarifications that need to be made. I spoke to her today, and today being the first of the month, she was extremely busy. So I will probably speak to her again tomorrow at some point, but we'll clear that up. Generally, the attendants at the transfer station have stepped up. The place is being run.
Oh, it's looking well. It's looking really
Exactly.
good.
They're doing a really good job. I should mention, Mike and Frank have taken a very proactive role. The building department has continued to keep them with active building permits, so we can assess whether or not the demo is being generated in town. Director Knapp's bulky item program initiated on 5/14 has had extremely positive results. We have dropped from 100-plus pieces of furniture or mattresses per week to under 20. That has an estimated net savings to the public somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000, but that will not be, that's where it looks like it's headed. I don't know if the pendulum will swing the other way, but
Right.
that is truly a positive. Feedback from the household trash bags being considered to go clear for residential trash has generally been positive. The new sign program promoting the recycling is now in place, which is great, so hopefully that will have an impact.
And those signs were all free, right, from?
Yes,
in our-
all those signs come from New Hampshire the Beautiful. We get to receive $500 worth of signs. There's, whatever, you have to sort of meet the quota.
Yep.
But we're back in that program, so that's $500 that would normally be being spent that now is granted to us by the state. There are a couple clarifications that need to be made based on citizen feedback regarding this clear bag proposal. First is that it will not require any additional staffing. This is really a mechanism for a quick glance, scan, transparent look at what is going into that residential hopper. And flagged if in fact, as stated by Mr. Dearborn tonight, isn't appropriate for that hopper. It should be in a demo, it should be somewhere else, but it has just mistakenly been placed in a bag by someone and it's now ending up there, okay? This is not a pay-as-you-throw program. I mean, that has to really be emphasized. This is strictly changing your black bag or your opaque bag to a clear plastic bag. One of the things that's happened in the last few months is every major bag maker has now gone clear or provides a clear bag for the same price, including drawstring bags, which was a concern by one of the people that spoke to it. They prefer to be able to tie the bag with a drawstring. Glad now makes a drawstring bag for your trash hopper up to 30 gallons, which is awesome. And it's really, I'm just going to actually just repeat what Mr. Dearborn kind of beat me to it, but we still continue to see about 1/3 more per trash per capita headed to the incinerator than neighboring towns. And there doesn't appear to be any clear answer at this point, and any other method for us to assess this. So after 4 months of research and studying existing programs that have proven successful in helping to mitigate unnecessary trash being placed in the municipal trash compactor, I'm going to ask the board tonight, I'd like to make a motion to enact a 1-year trial on the Clear Bag initiative. It will be assessed 1 year from the date, which would be, if it voted yes, would be November 1st of 2022. That's giving 90 days for us to advertise this, to promote the program, and allow everyone to transition from black bags to clear bags. That is not to say we can't use black bags, but black bags will not go in the residential hopper. They can go in the demolition hopper or any other place, but residential trash will go in a clear plastic bag.
Do we need any public comment after that?
That?
Was that on the agenda?
Transfer station update, I mean, it's,
Should be a public
To
hearing.
pass, that wasn't on the agenda to vote and include this.
Where do you get this data from?
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, who did you solicit to get that data?
Pardon?
where do you get it?
Who did he solicit to get the data that he's talking about?
We
The
solicited,
majority of people were very positive about ClearNet.
we, on May 2nd, we had a public meeting, and we solicited during that public meeting, I think, Tom, you were actually here for that meeting, we asked for anyone concerned regarding this proposed program to comment. We have received numerous emails,
What's the numbers? 10?
Oh, 10, 20, probably.
20. We have, people like Tom have gotten up and spoken. We have people that have called the town administrator and asked questions, including some of the private haulers, for clarification. Myself and the town administrator met with one of the private haulers for clarification. At the end of that meeting, I would say I walked away with him feeling comfortable with the program. It is a one-year trial to find, as stated by Mr. Dearborn, we're looking for this magical 1,000-ton of material that we are sending to the incinerator over a neighbor with a very similar demographic. So this has been actually going on since March. We've been discussing this, and we are at a point where we are losing money weekly, similar to how we were losing money weekly with the bulky items. We went from 132 items a week to 18 items last week.
That's positive. And that's a no-brainer.
It's clear evidence
So now you're
that we have
affecting
things,
everybody in the town. These decisions are affecting everybody in the town. I don't have clear plastic.
All right, all
Sorry.
right, all right.
Should have a public hearing to discuss this.
So, I think, personally,
Mr. Chairman, since my name was brought up, I just speak very briefly.
because your name was brought up.
All I would say is that I didn't speak like in a public hearing setting, I spoke during public comment.
correct.
Right, okay.
Which really is different, because what is being asked is to have an open public hearing to discuss the issue.
Right. And while I think that we have received positive input thus far, I don't know if I don't know if I term it a public hearing, but definitely a public forum to hear all opinion before we enact that. And that would be my own feeling, because on my current vote would be no, if we were to do a motion.
If I can make a
to
point
move
of
that.
order, he did
Yes.
make a motion.
He
and
did.
It should be called for before we have discussion.
Okay, I'll go with that. There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second? It fails a second, so it doesn't go anywhere. So I think that there needs to be a public discussion, more, I want to say, more directed to this.
Okay.
Because I think there's a lot of positive changes that have been going on down there, Kevin. I agree 100%. I think that the bulky moving over was a no-brainer as well. But like you said, I think that we need to, it's something we need to tread lightly with. It's a big change. I think it's a big change. I think we need to tread lightly, so.
I agree with some of the speakers on the floor that this really should be maybe not a public hearing, but definitely a public forum. We've had those in the past as
Right.
a board to gain feedback. And obviously, this affects a large group, and I think it behooves us as a board to definitely listen to the public's input on this.
Well, I think, as I'll say, I also would think that the board would hear, at that point, if it was known, the commercial haulers will also come in and state their piece.
And also, anything like this, we really need to involve Benji.
And, exactly, oh, definitely, definitely. And he comes back, what, 2 weeks?
3.
Oh, I thought this was his first week. Does he take 3 or 4 weeks?
He just left Sunday, Saturday.
Okay, all right,
He'll be back the 23rd.
okay.
So,
So, I mean, we can still, I agree with your timeline as far as a 90-day transition but I think, like you said, I think we need to hear more.
So in that same, as long as we're going to have this discussion, I think in that same meeting, we should get feedback regarding the 100% recycling mandate.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
currently, we have no means and methods to enforce
Enforce it.
that.
Yeah, I agree.
And currently, according to Director Knapp, and according to all the data we have, we are seeing somewhere between 25 and a max of 30% participation. Okay, and I did just most recently make another trip to a neighboring transfer station to assess what they have done for recycling this, so far this year against what we have done. And I can tell you, Hillsborough, as of last week, in aluminum alone, exceeded everything that we did last year. So we do have a problem. How we get to the
solution.
solution, I appeal the rest of my board members. We have a fiduciary responsibility here to suggest, is it an open, do we start doing similar to what's happening in New Boston, where periodically they open the bag, and then the bag is rejected, which is not something I want to do. I don't want to turn any bag away. I want the assistants to be, the people, the attendants that are working there, to just physically be able to see it. Currently, they cannot see it, so they cannot assess what is going into a residential trash dumpster. By the state of New Hampshire says only residential trash should be going to the incinerator.
Yeah, and I understand that.
Okay,
And like you said,
so would you please include
The 100% recycling.
100% recycling? Because I am going to propose, if we are not going to create any sort of a method or means, that we rescind that. We vote that we now go to voluntary
Voluntary.
recycling.
Okay. Yeah. I think we can just, I mean, it can be a twofold discussion. I don't think it should be just closed to the bags only.
Absolutely, because I would love, I mean, if I had another way of finding this mysterious 1,000-ton, as Mr. Dearborn spoke to, beautiful. Tell me, where is it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Well, yeah, so we'll schedule a meeting when Director Knapp comes back. It'd be a public forum at that point. I think that's because to me, a public hearing just sounds, I want to hear input. I guess it is a public hearing, but we'll have to schedule that, like I said, when he comes back. And it'd be on the clear bags, and it would also be on the 100% and/or voluntary recycling program that we have in place. Okay. Brings us to the manifest. Is there any other discussion before I head to the manifest?
I only have one thing, maybe at the transfer station. If we have people bringing in, they're collecting garbage from all over.
The commercial haulers?
Yeah, we're not sure if we're getting stuff from other towns or not when they bring it in. So that's another avenue of stuff coming in that's not ours. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility, and I think that, to Kevin's point, I think that would be the clear bag route. You cut one and read the envelopes, but again, that's discussion for them, so. All right, we'll move to the manifest. Move to order treasurer to sign payroll accounts payables checks dated August 4th, 2022, including the following manifest. Payroll manifest is $75,855.01 for weekly payroll. Accounts payable of $137,576.33 for a total of $210,431.34. As there's no selectmen's meeting scheduled for Monday, August 8th, I further order the treasurer to sign payroll checks dated August 11th, estimated to be about $80,000. And further order the treasurer to sign up to the amount of $90,000 for accounts payables that cannot wait until next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check amounts be reported to the Board of Selectmen by inclusion in the manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Brings us to the minutes. We'll start with 6-6.
So Chief Richard stuck his head back in,
Yep.
and it's September 20th. So I have to change 27th to the 20th.
Okay. That is the official date, there's the 2-0?
September 20th is the transition date to capital.
Okay, right. Okay,
You're gonna start,
June 6th. All right, page 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And 7. Entertain a motion?
Move to accept June 6th as read.
Moved and seconded, is there seconded?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
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 Brings us to the 20th.
Did we already do the 14th?
Yes.
Okay.
They were short and sweet.
Yes.
Page 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 20th, 22 as written.
A second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. The 23rd. Page 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6.
Slow down just a second, Rick.
Yep. Or we need to go 5?
I'm fine. Just-
Okay.
I'm good.
6. 7. 8. 9.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 23rd, 2022 as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. 27th.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 2020, correction, June 27, 2022 as written.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. And the 29th.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 29th, 2022 as written.
Second that.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
I abstain.
That's right, you weren't there. All right, page 1,
Of July 18.
correct. Two. Three. 4. Five. Six. And 7.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of July 18, 2022 as written.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
If we're all digital, do we want to handle the 27th as it's posted?
I haven't had time to take a look at it.
Okay. We can table that till the next meeting, that's
Okay.
fine.
If everybody else has looked at it, I'm good with moving forward.
Anybody else want to, do you want to review the minutes?
You want
or-
to review minutes of the 27th?
Or do you want to wait until next meeting?
I'll wait till next meeting.
Yeah, I
Okay,
haven't
all
got 'em.
right, we'll wait. All right. Administrator's report.
I'm gonna hand down, starting at Kevin. You have 2 junkyards that have been junkyards since day 1 in Ware. One was Allied, and the second one came in, which is Ware Body and Frame. It doesn't need a motion, it's just
Signature.
signature coming your way.
And this is just Ware Body and Frame,
It's
right?
for a year.
Because Allied already did his, right?
Allied already did theirs, so this is just Ware Body and Frame.
Okay.
There's a copy of the application, there's a copy of the check, and what you paid. I have one that will need a motion. Chief Richards came over today, and brought a form for a deputy forest fire warden appointment, which is, for Mark Rurick. So that would give him the authorization to issue fire permits. He's one of your full-timers, so, somebody will have to make that, hang on. Ware doesn't have a mayor, so. Are you a forest fire warden? So a forest fire warden has to sign the first line, the mayor signs the next
Oh,
line.
the warden is C2.
What the
I'm a
heck?
deputy.
Okay,
Table that for a minute.
yeah, he didn't sign it, so. Anyway, let me catch up here. Okay, we'll go to the list I provided you. The Joint Loss Committee's next meeting is gonna be Tuesday, August 30th at 9:30 here in the building. Radio communication, as we learned last week, we're still working in that in progress. We talked about that on the 27th, and for those that I don't think you could hear, we're kind of steering it in a different, or I guess we're going to attempt to steer it in a different way and save some money. That's still being worked on. And if you read through the 27th minutes, we had two-way here, just, you can't hear
Bill
the,
Bartlett.
you can't hear two-way, you can't hear the YouTube.
Okay.
So, we had two-way communication come and kind of give us a show as to, the level there. Instead of creating new towers, they're going to try to use existing cell towers. Coverage map looked just about as good. Doesn't cost you to create towers that way. They are now working on the 3 tower company owners. They're looking to, they have to work with the people to see if they can come up with the lease, to see if they can even do it. If they're not successful, now, they'll have to come back and start from where we were before. Is that
That's
correct,
correct,
John? Okay. So that's where we are at this point, waiting to see what the next move is. River Road Bridge, I'll hop back down, the other ones haven't changed. River Road Bridge, the survey is complete, and they're now working on the environmental study to do it at DES. I haven't heard any bad news, so I would always say that, bad news travels fast, so no news is good news, so I think the survey came out like it was.
So it is our property?
It is, as far as I can figure, unless environmentally it comes up with something different, but I can't imagine.
Okay.
The rental ordinance, as we said we would have another public hearing, I'm trying to coordinate The dates that I was given for the school were this week and next week, and that doesn't work. Because of the fact that to officially post it, you have to have 10 days.
Right.
So I'm working at trying to coordinate with the school and town council. And at this time, I'm tentatively looking at the 24th of August.
I have a business engagement that evening. I will not be able to attend.
So we'll look for another date. Guess that's off the table. But that's, we're running up against, school's gonna be in session, then you gotta work backwards. I don't know.
Can we use the old town hall?
If we do it in September, it should be warm enough.
You won't ever put it on TV. The old town hall doesn't.
And we also do not have
And you have no
facilities there.
bathroom.
We have no facilities.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep,
The
all right,
bathroom's not
that's
fixed.
right.
So, so we can look for another day. I'll just have to coordinate it. School starts, I think, the next Wednesday. So that means the after-school program will be in there until 5 or 6. So them to set up for 6:30 is a little difficult, but we'll.
I know
work.
it's out of the norm, but is it possible maybe a Saturday morning? Usually Saturdays we do the deliberative session or the first town meeting, but given the turnout we had and the fact that this is the second one and there's still people that are saying that they didn't know about it, if we put enough notice, can we do
And
it?
you're gonna take away a Saturday, you're gonna get less.
You're gonna have less people.
You know, it's the last part of summer.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. People are gonna be traveling for school starts.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to
You're not gonna
accommodate
get everybody anyway,
Yep.
no matter how hard you try.
No.
You don't get everybody to go to deliberative session either, so. You know, all we can do is try to advertise and put it out there.
Yep.
Same avenues that we did before. Put it in the paper. There was a notice on the front page of the website. It wasn't on the calendar, but it was on the front page.
I think it was in the Messenger, it was in
It was
the
in the
Where in the World.
Messenger. Yep.
Yep.
So we'll do our best again. But we'll have to come up with another date. So before I asked Laura for a date, I wanted to make sure that the school could accommodate their schedule first, because they are, the gentleman that does the streaming is part of the summer.
Yep.
So, as soon as I find out from there. The WEARE reps, I did send out an email. It appears it might only be Leah, because Leah and I had talked about that when she came in. Keith had sent, he couldn't be there, so Leah had agreed graciously to come, so we'll put that on there.
Perfect.
Thank you.
The cemeteries, we've accomplished all the burials that we knew about. Thank God we haven't had some we don't know about yet, but
Yes.
I'm sure that's gonna happen. So in working through that, Dignified is a company that most communities use. So Dignified is a subsidiary of Perry Brothers Monument. So they provided me with their pricing and their insurance certificate. And that, so what happens is when the burial occurs, the funeral home reaches out to me. The funeral home, we just have to put the stake where, the flag in the middle of wherever you're gonna do it. And then Dignified takes over, and then they get paid directly from the funeral home.
So theoretically, we still have to rod it.
You still have to mark it, yes.
Mark and rod it,
Yeah,
or rod it and mark
but it's
it.
not, it's not trying to decide who's gonna dig it, you know?
Kevin and I
But
are
they're
getting
gonna
good at
take,
it, though.
they're gonna take care of it.
Or
Everywhere. They're gonna take care of it.
even close.
Yeah.
The only thing I would like to talk about, and I'm gonna work on getting some prices, so with the prices for Dignified, we need to alter the rules and regulations, which we talked about several months ago, is taking and not just the Dignified part, but having the deed recorded. It's
Yes.
just because what's happening is, as you know, as people age, and nobody can find the deed, and as the state told us, without a deed, we can't really go digging around.
Right,
And we have no claim to be digging around.
right.
So I think going back, and when you buy your home, typically, things get recorded at the registry, and then, you know, it's always there, you can go back to.
I think it's a
So
smart
that
idea.
needs to be changed. And then, during my days off, I did spend a lot of time in the cemetery. And, huh?
That's too bad.
Well, yeah, because I had to find cornerstone markers that were ordered and were sitting in Manchester for months. And Kevin and I spent some time trying to mark corners, pulling information off of,
What we have.
I'll be honest with you, it's nicely squared on a piece of paper. But as him and I, we had to go back to the last headstone in the line that we could find, and then go the other way, and then work our way into the middle
Yeah,
with a tape measure.
yeah.
And then, you know, it's just, there's a better way of doing it.
Of course.
Has to be.
Has to be.
So you guys you have cypre money? And there is plenty of cypre money. Cypre money is used on the inside of the cemetery.
Right.
So my thought in being, cypre money, you've got $140,058.65.
How does Cypre generate funding?
It's to do with the investment of when you buy a lot, it goes into perpetuity and it's all invested. But you only have 10,000 a year to use, even though that's the
Right.
balance. So there's got to be a company out there, a surveying group or somebody that can lay this out for us. And then it's easy. I mean,
Once they establish
I've done
the
some
corners, yeah.
Googling and you can find, I'll call them saucers, metal pieces.
Yeah, there's a few out
And they
there.
are, you can order them imprinted with numbers. And then the hole requires like a spike, but you can put it in the four corners.
Right.
And it's low enough that the lawn care is not gonna
Goes
hit
right
them.
over it, right.
But at the same time, when you go out there, you're gonna be able to find 342 or, you know,
wonder if-
because they're on the piece of paper as 342.
Right,
But God love you to go find it.
yeah. I wonder if Dignified could tell us somebody that does it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna reach the Dignified and Manchester Memorial, those two. The other places, Amherst just did it. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Amherst
They
hired,
do like a,
they did a ground
ground
penetration,
penetrating.
and then I think they put it on paper.
What's the
And-
definition of a lot of money?
it was over 100,000.
It was it was 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then it's done, it's computerized, and when someone comes in to buy a lot, I know what size it is and where it is. I know we can go show them that lot. I just think there's a better way than what we've been
There
doing
has to be a better
business.
way, yeah.
There has to be. The amount of time, you know, my vacation days to go mark out a 4x8 so we can put corner markers. I mean, I don't mind it, but
Yeah,
it's just, there's gotta be a different
there's
avenue.
gotta be a different way.
And you know how wrong it is to dig where you're not supposed to dig, or to dig something up that you're not supposed to. Then you go to jail.
Yeah.
So we learned that. So I'm not going to jail for anybody.
Right.
So I think there's a better avenue.
And
And I think we could research it and find it. And whether it took us, like I said, $10,000 this year, and it's always out of Cypress, so there's no tax impact.
Right.
And I think we just need to up our game or something, because
Oh, I
it's just,
agree.
it's, we've been fortunate right now.
Right, but again, now it's,
As you just heard who we did Moment of Silence for, I know one of them is gonna be needing
a spot,
a spot. So I just,
yeah.
it's just something we need to search out.
Do we have, you mentioned a box of corner markers that were in Manchester, so now do we actually, because we were actually,
I've got them all.
we were actually repurposing old plastic corner markers we found that were taken up when the granite ones
Okay,
the other
we're
day.
put in place.
So we need,
Do
we
we,
at least need some in the short term.
I have flags. I have some flags.
did we get into that building down there?
Not yet.
No. You're gonna have to drill it.
I can get us in there.
Oh, yeah, it'd be
Take a
easy.
bolt cut.
Well, I could
I'll
almost
just-
get us
I
in
mean, I
there.
can
It's
drill
not-
No,
out-
no,
it's
it's-
not bad luck.
drill out the lot.
It's a
dead
roll-up door,
It's a roll door.
and it's got
that's
it's got a key lock in the middle.
We just hire a locksmith to come out and then,
You can almost, with a good yank, pull it up.
yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know-
if we're gonna, I mean, if we drill it or anything, we're damaging the door and we gotta replace it anyway. If we hire a good locksmith, he could probably, break into it
He could probably pick
and
it.
take, and get a key made for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a locksmith, preferred one we deal with, or?
Goffstown.
Yeah, there's a
Who,
gentleman.
who did this building?
Well, that was access, but that was because you wanted fobs.
Right, okay.
No, there's a gentleman, Goffstown Lock and Key, the school
Yeah.
uses him.
Okay,
He lives at least in South where he used to. Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
So we can do a
Reach out to him.
locksmith, but
Yeah.
there's just some changes we have to make.
Absolutely, 100%.
I just,
Now,
it really has
it's
to.
always been on the ballot. Who's the agent to expend the site prey?
The town, so you have to do it that way.
Okay,
That's fine.
all right.
It can
I
go
just
to-
asking, I didn't
It can
know.
go to town meeting.
Okay.
That's absolutely perfect.
All right,
So Naomi, it's the town that allows that 10,000 a year, but
You can allow 20, 30, 40, 50.
40,000,
Yeah,
if
we
it's
just
gonna
have
go and
never-
vote on
Just have
it.
to put a number on
Yeah,
it.
we have to put a number in,
Yeah.
okay.
All right, but I think it'd be good to get a hold of Dignified and say, all right, there's obviously, or even, even Amherst maybe they solicited a few more people than the person they used, and maybe there's a different way.
I just think there's gotta be
There's
some.
gotta be a better way.
We're not the only ones that are doing this. I
No.
can't imagine anybody's doing this.
They've gotta have a lot bigger cemetery than us, because
Well,
Amherst is a lot bigger than
Well,
ours.
regardless, it doesn't matter, I mean, it's just,
Well, it
it's,
will, the price will be less for us,
well,
hopefully.
I'm not talking about having them do the ground pad training, but at least somebody
Yeah.
that's competent enough to
Yeah.
go mark them.
Yeah,
So I think that there's some changes that we really need to search out.
Okay.
sounds good.
The locksmith, do we need to make a motion on that since it's gonna come from the Cypre account?
No, it wouldn't come from Cypre account.
Why, it happened-
And we're not the agents to expend.
Well, no, hang on, I think what he's asking is there was a warrant article for $10,000 to spend money on inside.
Yeah, and
there
that,
any
Have we
money
spent
left?
any of it?
that building is
I don't think
inside.
we've spent anything. I
Yeah.
don't think you've spent anything.
Well, then I think we could do that then.
Does that need a motion though, because we're spending out of it? That's my question.
How did the trustees do it? Did they-
So what
they
happens
moved
is,
it?
just like you have all these accounts,
Yep,
so what you do is you make a motion to expend, and then you see the vouchers you guys signed to put the money
Yep.
back in. So that's where it comes from.
okay.
So if you make a motion, but the Cypre has to be spent on the inside of the cemetery.
Right.
So anything,
Technically, the building's inside the grounds.
it is inside the grounds. So it's an article that, I mean, it's coverable.
Okay.
So I don't know what it costs for a locksmith.
I'm guessing
$300 or $400 by the time you're
couple
done.
$100.
Probably, yeah,
How much?
Couple hundred, probably.
yeah,
Yeah, at least,
at least two,
and if he's gonna make us a key,
yeah.
he'll probably
I mean,
just.
it looks like it's
he'll
just a
probably-
schlag.
He'll just replace the core.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll just core it.
Take that core out, yeah.
So,
Okay.
does that need a motion though? Where we are now
I think you should.
we're now the cemetery.
I'll make a motion that we contact a locksmith to gain access to the garage at, what cemetery is that?
East Ware.
East Ware.
The East Ware Cemetery, not to exceed $300.
I'll second
And
it.
to come out of the Cypre account.
Still second. Move and second, all in favor?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if it does come, we can always drill it out and just put a padlock and a.
Yeah,
hasp
and a
on the
clasp on it,
outside.
yeah,
Yeah,
if
that would
needed.
be actually,
Yeah,
Actually, you know what works better than a padlock and a key is one of those things you can set a number to.
yeah.
And then you can
You can
change the number.
instead of cutting the lock
Right.
every time.
exactly.
Okay. And then when we get down to the town hall, Casey Rod I haven't reached. So the town hall bathroom renovations, the gentleman where David Erickson was here a couple nights and listened to the meeting. He's a small carpenter by trade. He asked if he could go take a look at it and provide us with a quote. He's provided us with a quote. I don't know, I'm not gonna say the amount yet. He also left me a message that he purchased an additional piece of vinyl that would make the men's room work. He thinks in the women's room, all we need is to replace the seal in the toilet, the wax
The
ring.
wax
filter.
ring, yeah.
And underneath, he crawled underneath and everything looks good in both rooms. So I'm not sure,
Does this gentleman have commercial or have liability insurance?
Thank you. That was my
I
question.
can ask that, I haven't, I mean, it got
Yep.
dropped off with a message,
I
so.
think it needs to, it's a contractor working on a building, so.
Okay.
All the same applies. We appreciate the,
Yeah,
the foot forward, but.
okay,
All-
so I'll reach out and see, and then the 15th I'll have your answer for you.
Yep, word works.
And then I have one piece of correspondence under correspondence.
Okay. All right.
And actually Denise showed up late, should you tell her what we did?
I just started at 7, I'm so sorry. Is that on the,
We were just wondering where you were.
Yeah.
sorry. I've been at home waiting. 7's been a long.
Okay. Do you wanna,
Can we recognize Denise from
What's
Park?
the topic?
no, she's the lady that sent the email.
Trailer.
For the
Oh.
trailer.
The trailer that we already talked
She's-
about.
She's a member of Parks and Rec.
I know who she is.
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, if the board's okay with it, I'm good with it.
Yes.
Yep. Up to the podium. Thank you.
Denise Purington, sorry I'm late, I thought you started at 7. I'm here representing Parks and Rec Commission, Janine couldn't be here. Last meeting you talked with where,
Can I just bring up to speed what we did talk about already?
oh, sure.
Yeah, so obviously, we want the trailer registered.
Yep.
And insured. Legal right now is drafting up 1-year lease.
Okay,
The board has already put it back to Park as to our support and your authority to dictate where it goes.
oh, perfect.
As far as Bolton,
Okay.
because we know that Ineson's prime parking.
Yeah.
And obviously Bolton it's gonna float once it's in play, but as of right now, until it's constructed and in use, Bolton would be
Yeah.
obviously the
Its
more.
parking spot would be Bolton.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, we're gonna put it over by the other two.
So,
Yeah.
so that brings us to up to speed.
So, who's responsible for making sure the, insurance and registration is obtained?
So we're we're waiting for WAC to give it to us
Oh, okay,
before we sign the contract.
okay.
And then it's a 1-year, basically, parking lease.
So you'll let us know, because it is parked at Inison, it was September coming.
Yeah.
Soccer's gonna start.
We're still waiting for
Perfect.
for him to get back to us with the information we've asked for from
Perfect.
him.
Okay, perfect.
But-
That's all I need.
And then, do you want to talk tennis court?
Sure. I don't know if you've had a chance to see, but
Got
they, tennis courts have been resurfaced, thanks to the Emma Sawyer Fund. And they finished on Thursday. They're setting right now, probably will open on Thursday morning. They look great. They're not perfect, because remember, it wasn't a dig up, it was
Yeah,
fix the cracks.
it's not perfect to start.
Right, and Parks and Rec is already talking about the 5-year plan, which we'll come back and talk to you guys about in CIP. But if you want to swing by, they are locked right now because we don't want anybody on them.
On them.
We will put the nets back up Wednesday and probably open them up for Thursday morning.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but that, and I was very happy with the company, did what they
Did they paint the pickleball lines that you asked?
they did, and I dropped off a check from WEARE Pickleball Club for the cost to cover that, so Naomi has the check for that.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah,
I was
they
at the
do.
library and
Yeah,
climbed up the hill to look.
Thank you
We
for all your help
appreciate your
and your
support.
diligence in getting that done.
that's all right,
Yeah.
but we appreciate your support, and the tennis people are happy too, so.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah.
So,
All right,
you.
thanks,
Thanks,
sorry.
Denise.
early.
no, you're fine.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Correspondence, other business. Any board members have anything? I got one thing after.
There was an
Says
email
her
that
piece.
we received regarding a former car dealership. We received an email from a gentleman a couple days ago, I guess, regarding the old Ford dealership down on 114.
Oh, yeah, I read it.
Or one,
I didn't get it.
oh, okay.
That's why I'm looking at you like I got giant headlights.
Where is that email?
He was a retired Army guy.
Yeah,
Air Force,
retired
yeah.
Army.
Larry-
yeah.
From a Larry Pierce.
Yeah.
Nope, I didn't
Essentially just stating his concern of the security of that particular building and how it's gained some popularity on social media. And while I understand his concerns, I've had similar concerns with the security of that building, but unfortunately, that's not a town building, and there's not much that the Board of Selectmen will be able to do about that.
Well, on top of it, the guy that owns it's renting the downstairs. It's rented out to a person that's doing car repairs, so there's somebody in there.
Oh, is there now?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been in there now for 3 months.
I'll forward it over to you, Ricky.
Like I say, can you forward that over to me, because I did not get that.
Did you get it, Kevin?
No, I didn't get
It
it.
was 4:27 yesterday morning.
No.
He's, retired Army, retired Air Force.
Did not get that.
So
I just
that's
sent
keeping
it
him
to
awake
you.
at night.
Okay.
That's me.
Did it go
Unless
to,
it's not
did it
from
go to
around
board
here.
members?
Yeah, I got it.
It went to board members.
Hey, Kevin, you said you didn't get it either?
No.
I didn't get it.
Really? Okay.
No.
Nope.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah,
What-
it's
what
news
day
Not
to
my
was
me.
it?
spam folder
Get
either.
it, John?
Yeah, I just
What
looked
day-
at it too.
What day was it?
It was yesterday morning at 4:27.
Yep, I didn't get that.
I just sent it over to you.
I got it
Kevin.
now, but I didn't
I
get
sent
it.
it to Kevin.
Okay.
Yep, thank you.
Your,
John, you didn't get it either?
your personal one.
John didn't get it either.
All right, I'll forward it to Mr. Osborne, too.
Okay. Well, I would agree with your statement, as far as the board's, ability level.
It's not-
Yeah,
it's privately
nothing we
owned.
can
Exactly, it's privately owned.
Yeah, I mean, I understand his concerns. but-
And I sympathize with the concerns
Yeah,
about it.
especially with the antique vehicles down there.
Exactly, yeah, not that I have any of them,
I
so.
think most of them are gone.
Are they? I haven't
I
been
think
down there
they've
in a
been
while.
moving them out
Yeah,
slow.
they're gone. I don't think there's anything left upstairs now.
Okay. All right.
That was all I had.
Anything else from the board?
Yeah, I got it.
No.
Right there.
Okay.
Naomi, your piece?
Yeah.
I knew I had it.
I had a letter dropped
I did.
off from the WEARE Democrats, and it talks about the use of the Old Town Hall. If you want me to read it, I can. It
Yep.
says, while we understand you're currently receiving bids for work in the Old Town Hall restrooms, we'd like to get a jump on the season and request usage of the building. Thursday, October 27th. We've rented the building several times in the past and left it in better condition than we found it. We understand that costs of electricity may affect the rental costs, so we are prepared to pay an additional $25. We're also prepared to put down an additional refundable deposit, if that would help. Ally any concerns about the usage. Please let us know what else may be needed. It's a wonderful building for town events, and we look forward to the town's movement to begin renting it again. And then there's a contact information for me to reply to.
So, where are we at as a board? Because I thought that we opted not to open it because of the repairs. Is that where we are
Yeah,
at still?
until,
Right.
until we can get facilities
The
in there, we
bathroom's
can't.
fixed.
Right, no, and I realize that, I know because of, the budget, we were talking about winterizing it and not heating it this year too. So that was a thought, so I don't,
Now electricity.
and now electricity at an all-time giddy up. I just did, like I said, I didn't know what the board's consensus was. I personally
I say let's revisit it after we
make the repairs.
make the repairs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's not make a decision at this point.
Do we want to put the repair out to bid so that we have
Several
our
people.
three contractors as?
I don't think it would hurt. I think we should, honestly.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
agree. It's
we're entertaining-
following our purchasing
Yes.
policy.
Correct.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
As long as we're entertaining this one.
Not to
so-
say what we have isn't reasonable
No,
or good,
I'm
just,
not.
again,
That's
it's
why I didn't put the number
a
out.
town building, so.
Because that's sometimes if you put the number out, then everybody knows what your number is and you
Right.
come a dollar
Right.
underneath.
Do we have a scope?
Of practice?
Well, I can tell you what I got written here.
Well, like I say, because like Kevin said, there may be different opinions
So,
on
This
fixing.
suggestion was to remove the existing toilets vinyl and drain the sink pipes, remove all the old vinyl and rotten plywood subfloor for the men's room, replace it with 1/2 inch CDX to match the existing plywood, replace the vinyl with new. I'm just trying to not read commentary, sorry.
Yeah.
He's willing to bring samples in to let me pick the pattern, not the girl to do that. Just letting you know.
Like
I
we
can't.
are.
1
but I
foot by 1 foot by
I
1
can.
foot tile,
I
done,
can.
next.
He just said a better choice for the public building could be a M-A-R-M-O-L-E-U-M,
Marlium?
marmoleum.
Marmoleum.
Linoleum, never heard
Yeah,
of it.
that's just a, it's just a.
Like
Industrial.
linoleum,
Yeah,
vinyl covering?
It rolls up and it seams on the corners. It's the 2022 old Congoliums, right? It's a
Okay.
sheet good,
Okay.
but an industrial sheet.
He
good.
also said that a licensed plumber is gonna be required even to just reinstall, because you're gonna need some rings, because that's what's
Rings,
leaking. So if that sounds like something that you're looking to do for apples to apples, this is what his scope
I
of
think
work
I
is.
think it's reasonable to say, obviously, pull the subfloor, replace the subfloor, because we all know the subfloor,
And,
yeah.
and on top of getting a plumber, we can have a plumber, reinstall the toilet, and then he suggested that we install a new 17-inch high with an insulated tank, because a lot of that's dripping down. It's
Should
the old
we
tanks.
have Romeo go over there and give us,
That's probably the best idea. I was
Yeah.
just thinking that, is Romeo would actually
That's what we
make,
always said.
would make this is what we're gonna propose.
And then just having, another comment, having Romeo,
Yeah, no
he
rush.
did go over to the library and look at the chimney.
Yep.
He's gonna write me a report similar to when he
Cool.
went down there.
That'd be good, yeah.
And I just, because he ran through what the problem is and drew it on a piece of paper, but,
Yeah.
I just think I asked him if he would do it.
Yeah. and he
That'd
said
be a
he
lot
would.
nicer, so he
Awesome.
said he would.
Awesome.
Okay, so have him look at that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we do solicit the quotes, make sure that, again, let me put together a sheet so that we outline what the criteria is regarding the insurance, what the schedule is, do we want to see the work done within a certain time frame, and what our contract looks like.
I
allow.
don't think that's a bad idea.
To
Yeah.
require,
Board?
No, but we do
But I
have
think-
to expedite all this because there is a request by
Right, for
somebody
October.
that frequently uses this.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
I mean,
October.
John, I'll have that ready for us for the next meeting. Okay, you guys, I'll email it to you, you can.
Yeah, okay, that
proof
works.
it.
Yep.
Yeah, just in compliance, obviously, with the purchasing policy, that's all.
I would suggest, by the way, and just so you understand, I'm gonna suggest that we have like a 5% retainage for 30 days, just so that in case there's a callback,
Call
we
back
can
or
get them back.
Yeah,
In other words, you know.
Hold their money.
In 15 days from the day they bill, you know, some payment terms.
Okay.
And we'll have a 5% retainage so that we can get them back,
Yeah.
okay?
Naomi,
that
did you
works.
say anything to Ben about cutting those trees out of there? Because those trees are right on the shingles, asphalt
I
shingles.
didn't get a chance to, I didn't even see
When he
him.
gets back, we should speak to him about that, because that's
well,
not
depending on the
gonna help
size of
us.
them. I mean, those, I think those are pretty big, ain't they?
No, they're not that big,
No.
20 feet.
Excuse me.
Don't want them to fall in the, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's not a big deal for him.
Actually, there was one other thing, piece of correspondence I remember receiving about the East Road barn. Something about a roof panel.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
one
that's been up
panel
for a
blown
while.
up now from that high wind we got a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no.
That's been,
It's been up for a
It's been
while.
up and down.
that's
up
been
and-
folded up for a long time.
but, yeah.
Okay, where are we at with actually trying to see about, is that something that the board, or is that a historical society thing?
I think it's Historical Society myself.
It is,
Yeah.
okay, just wanted clarification on that.
Okay.
I guess we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with that, because that's a, I mean, that whole roof's gotta come off. That's not like a minimal repair, that's a full-blown thing. I mean, all the wood is all dry rot. It's a
Underneath,
200
right.
It's a 200-year-old barn,
Right, no, I get it.
so.
Yeah, yeah.
And I still haven't heard anything from the state, so I don't know, I can give them a call and see where they are,
Yeah, see where they're at.
and see if they're gonna do anything or not, but, you know.
Yeah. At least get tied down for the year. Anything else?
Uh,
Request a non-public after this.
Yep.
Under A and C.
I have one thing here on Hometown Hero, and you're looking for people, suggesting people.
Yeah, I just got that, I flipped it to you and
Yeah,
said do
yeah,
some
we can
thinking.
chat with that.
Yeah,
about
you
that
had to
later.
think about, I mean,
Yeah.
that just came today.
Okay.
What's the
So-
deadline for that?
I don't know, September 17th
We're
is when
hosting on
they,
September 17th, does it say when they want
Well,
any
they,
recommendations from us?
well, you could, if you guys could think about it, and you could come up with something in the
Yeah,
next
just-
meeting.
and
Talk
just-
about it next meeting?
Yeah, just talk about it next
Yeah, You
meeting.
just have to put some thought into it.
Right, exactly, that's something, we gotta put some thought
It
into
gets
it.
rotated, and then because of the pandemic,
yeah.
I think it skipped a couple of years, because it swaps between here and Chester. So, it's back to Ware this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Hometown here.
Like I said, I was like, I thought we just did this last year, but apparently it's
No,
been 2 years.
it's been probably three.
That's
Probably
how,
been 3 or
time
more.
flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
One other part of other business I do want to discuss is, the topics that were brought up at the podium. I'm not looking to throw any stones, I just want a solution, that's all. And I don't know what the solution is with
36 hours in a day.
with the minutes, huh?
36 hours in a day.
Correct, that is a good solution, I need that myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
But-
you fill it with 48 hours worth of crap.
Right, you still get 48 hours, yeah, instead of 36 and 24. I just, like I said, is it safe to say that we will be hiring an administrative assistant sooner than later for you that can handle this? Or is?
I think we should have that discussion, non-public. I got some suggestions,
Okay, all right,
and I got some names.
Add that to the A and C then.
okay. All right, I just, again, I'm not trying to discredit, or like I said, or discredit what was said at the podium, because it's true. But like I said, I want a solution rather than blame, I'll say, because that's not gonna get us anywhere.
Actually, while we're talking about comments made during the public comment, one of the citizens in town made a mention of a study down at the transfer station where the numbers were coming from. Can we reach out, or can we have Benji, when he returns, reach out to NRRA, the National, the
Recycling Association,
Yep.
yeah.
And see if they have any money, or they have any people that can come over there and just sit down for a day, a couple of days.
Do the study.
And do the study for us, where if we're a
They may-
member and our membership fees pay for something like that, let's
Well,
do that.
They've got a, what they call a SWAT team, which is a Solid Waste Advisory Team.
Yep.
They'll come out here for nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what we're thinking, I
as
mean,
far as I understand. They
well,
used to have
that would be nice, because then that, we wouldn't have to sponsor it.
Right.
You know, as fiscally, we wouldn't have to sponsor
But
it.
that would be, you know,
And
like
they
you
know
say,
it-
something that Benji needs to reach out for.
Exactly.
And they know what they're looking for.
Yeah,
right?
they know what to do.
We could go up there and look at it and go, hi, how you doing? And-
Yeah.
And not know
Because,
exactly what's
I
going
mean,
on.
Kevin's been very diligent about getting the numbers, but the comment was made is where are we getting these numbers? If we get them direct from NRA, which is a recognized association.
Boots on the ground, NRA.
And get if we can get them their version, and if it coincides with Selectman Cahill's, then we obviously have some really good information to work off of, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we can
And
get
John,
them.
just to let you know, the superintendents that I've developed a relationship with, I mean, they're sending me screenshots of where they are on every given day, which is the NHR, what they're submitting to NHARA. I mean, so what I have isn't hypothetical.
And I'm not saying it is, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that addressing a concern by one of the
Yeah,
citizens in town.
and I'd be glad, and they would actually be glad to come and present to us. It's just, I don't know what the New Hampshire Recycling Association is going to, what they're basically going to do is they can look at our total tonnage. Based on our total tonnage, we should have a percentage of recycling. And are we meeting that percentage to fall into?
But if they have a team come out and actually look at it and kind of study what goes in the hopper.
And if we can have them present that at this public
Sure.
forum or hearing
It
or
would be
whatever.
awesome. I mean, I'm not in
Yeah.
any way discouraging that. It would, that definitely,
It's just one more
yeah,
feather in the cap.
validation of the
Yeah.
fact that we have a problem and we really don't, there's no real clear way to do it.
No.
And, again, the neighboring town, 23 years, they've been at it and it hasn't turned the town upside down.
Yes.
Again, so I think that it would be, it's a bump in the road, people would, but yeah, I'm very happy because I want to find the money.
Okay, good. All right, sounds like we're gonna have an A and C, and then we're gonna have a C after that. I think we're good?
Yep.
Okay, no other comments, discussion? All right, I'm gonna move to go into non-public under RSA 91A3, Roman numeral 2, A and C. Is there a second?
Second?
Second, roll call vote, yes.
Yes.
And
Do we
we'll
have to
be,
flip the switch?
we'll be adjourning afterwards.
No, I have to stop
To this.
screaming over here.
Okay.
Oh,
Good night.
have a good night, Tom.
Good night.
So we're not supposed to use the switch?
No, they changed it. I did it once. I could do it once.
You got through it once. Here we go. That's all that matters,
I wonder what
okay.
that switch was originally intended for.
I don't know.
That's brand new, $250,000 Bentley.
How the hell did you afford that?
I didn't afford it. A friend of mine has it.
Just remember,
Beautiful
we're still
car.
on
Down in
live.
Florida.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, the house is about $8 million.
Yep.
They got a place, they're right on Marco Island,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got a big thing dug out. They go right
Yeah.
from the ocean out. They got a 40-foot sailboat that comes